majority of, well, actually all of talking today, and I'll just be here for support purposes. Again, the community engagement piece is new to me and CIC. So I'm excited to see what becomes of it. So go ahead, Kate.
Okay, so I'm the host. Lauren, jump in if you need me to do anything else, since I'm temporarily the host of this meeting.
You know what, Katie? The only thing, and if it's distracting, just let me know. As folks pop into the waiting room, we just press admit. If that gets too distracting, let me know.
I think it's giving me that pop-up, so I should be able to handle that. Okay, so we just did introductions. I'm going to talk about the background of CIC. We'll zoom in a little bit on Woodlawn and our impact there. I want to make sure you understand our multifamily lending program, because that is the main business of CIC and how many of you may interact with us. Then we'll talk about the special targeted program to Woodlawn. We have a new loan program that's really from the city of Chicago, but we're implementing it. And then we'll have some time for questions, which for now, please just put in the chat and we will address those at the end. Okay. So CIC is a not-for-profit. We actually started in 1974, so we have a long history in Chicago. We have a mission to preserve affordable housing. We provide financing programs and policy leadership, and really preservation of affordable housing is the core of our business. A lot of times when you hear affordable housing, you think of those big subsidized new construction developments. Those are great partners, great projects. That's not what we do. We try to preserve existing units. And if you're into the finance world, we are a CDFI. That's sort of just a community development financial institution. It's a designation for us as a nonprofit lender. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this. We have 3 broad program areas: the financing element, we do policy leadership, and we do community development and technical assistance. The first, as I mentioned, bread and butter, our financing programs. We've got a lot of them now. We used to just have 1 or 2. So now we have a whole broad swath of financing programs. I'm going to talk later today about the multifamily, which is really, again, the key program that I want you all to understand. And then, of course, the Woodlawn Construction Loan Fund. I'm happy to answer questions about any of these others if they come, at the end of the presentation. We really have started to specialize. So we have a different program for a lot of niche areas. So whether you're in a lower cost market or a stronger cost market, or you maybe need a TIF grant, we can help you with those things. Okay. Community development and technical assistance. This is the umbrella that education falls under. So Jessica has led our property management training classes for 5 years. Before that, CIC was also teaching these classes. They're a great resource. If you haven't taken Jessica's class, you can take it now. It's online now, in the pivot that we had over the last couple of years. So you can just take it online, and she offers networking opportunities as well. The other aspect of this is direct intervention. So CIC has a whole suite of services, whether it's condo deconversions, intervening in troubled buildings, fraud, direct intervention. So that is that element. The Preservation Compact is our policy arm. So we're rooted in preserving neighborhood housing. And recently, our colleagues at the Preservation Compact worked on additional dwelling units, or ADUs. So that's a great policy initiative to help add units to existing properties that were hard to legalize in the past. So there's a pilot with the city on that. And there's a new tax incentive program, just 2 examples of the policy leadership that we do at CIC. Okay, so our work in Woodlawn. I've been with CIC for 5 years, as has Jessica. So a lot of this work took place before our time, but leading up to the last couple of years. So we led a program called the Micro Market Recovery Program, MMRP, and this was direct intervention in Woodlawn. There was a lot of team effort to recover troubled buildings, to restore condos back to viable rental properties. That sort of segued into the Renew Woodlawn program, which I think many of you may be familiar with. This created new homeownership opportunities. So over 40, I think this is an older number. I think it's closer to 50 new homeowners. And of course, we've continued to lend in Woodlawn, 20 million in the last 10 years and almost 500 residential units. And I really wanted to highlight our partners because that's the basis for our success, is partnering with the city, with neighborhood housing services, with preservation of affordable housing, POA. And I put this link in here. You can learn more about our efforts in Woodlawn. Okay. So getting on to lending, got another person in the waiting room. Lending is our core business. This multifamily program is for 5 residential units and up. So if you have an apartment building, we are a lender on apartment buildings. These are the terms of our loans. They're typically 10 years, 25-year amortization. We lend up to 80%. So that means that you have a 20% down payment, equity contribution. I just wanted people, again, we can have questions about this later, but this is a standard CIC developer will come to us with a 6-flat or a 20-unit building and do either a moderate rehab or up to a gut rehab. And so they'll do a construction loan with us and they'll get a first mortgage from us. And that is our typical borrower. The photo here is of a owner of a 6-flat. It was a family-owned building, and they did energy improvements, rehabbed the units, and took out a first mortgage with CIC. Okay. So now that we understand our normal CIC multifamily lending product, we can talk about the Woodlawn Construction Loan Fund. This is a product, again, speaking about partnerships, this is coming from the city. It's included in the Housing Preservation Ordinance for Woodlawn. I'm not sure if people have honed in on this, but there's a lot of housing related programs. Maybe you've talked about them in this group before. So the city created the program. They asked us to help implement it because of the work we've done in Woodlawn in the past. And then we had 8 banks come in and raise the funds for this loan program. So we are very grateful to those banks and the city. So the program has 2 components. One is multifamily rental. So it kind of just parallels the multifamily program that I discussed earlier. And then we have the single family product, which is different for CIC because it is for home builders to sell to homeowners. So this is an opportunity that we don't usually have, but it's for single family and small buildings for sale to homeowners. Okay. So Woodlawn Construction Loan Fund, I know it's a lot of numbers, and if you're not a finance person, this might be a little bit dry, but the key here is it's very low construction interest, and it also can go up to 90% loan to value. So it's very low cost construction interest and a very high leverage opportunity. So that's what makes this program stand out. To get that very low interest rate, you're going to agree to provide half of the units at an affordable rate. And that requirement is tenant income verification at rent up. And it's half of the units at 80% AMI. And I have some more numbers to show you on that. Okay, so this is an example. This is a real life project that we did this year. It is an 8-unit apartment building in West Woodlawn. A ton of, pretty sure this was a gut rehab. New roof, new windows, new kitchens, new baths, new plumbing, everything. The total project cost was $756,000. Our Woodlawn Construction Loan Fund covered 90% of the loan to cost. So the owner equity was down to 10%, and that's another feature of this loan. And in exchange, the developers will provide half of the unit, so that's 4 units at affordable rents, 80% AMI for 10 years. And I should also mention that affordability restriction, most of the rents in the neighborhood are already affordable at these rates, so there isn't a big hit on income. And just to illustrate that affordability, on the left are the income limits for family sizes at 80% AMI, and then on the right are the rents that would be need to be made available. So for example, this building had 2-bedroom units, it would need to be at or below 1622. So you could market those units at 1622 or have a voucher tenant that qualifies. And the affordability it's partnership with the city, so it would be an agreement with the city. Okay, how are we doing, Lauren? It's always funny to talk on Zoom when I can't see nods or
no,
you're doing
great. And we asked folks to kind of put their questions in the chat, and those who don't have access to the chat will also just leave some time to kind of call on folks. This is a smaller group tonight, so we may be able to do the chat and call on folks, but you're doing good on time.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so the next is the single family side of the program. And again, a great feature of this program is that low 2.5% construction interest and the relatively high loan to cost that we can offer up to 90%. The affordability is for this program 120% AMI, but this is to homeowners. So the way you should think about this program is a home builder, a developer could come in and build a 3-flat, a 2-flat, or maybe a few at a time, and then sell those to qualified homeowners. That's the nature of the program. We have a couple of applicants currently talking about it. We haven't actually done any of these yet. So we, we're looking for people to work with us and bring a project. I think it will require a little bit of creative thinking here. So we're happy to talk to folks about what they have in mind. And just to get in, again, to the affordability requirements, people are often curious, like, what does 100% AMI mean? So for a family of 2 people, that's around 90,000. For 3, just over 100,000. So you would be selling to a family of 3 at $100,000. That's the market that you would sell this home to. Okay, so I have a question from Cassandra. I'm happy to answer. And here's my FAQ. So we'll just go into the questions. How much experience? So CIC, we are a nonprofit lender. We love to work with people at all levels of experience. That being said, you should come to us with a team. A team, your contractor, a construction plan, some property management experience. So really the criteria for working in this program is similar to our other lending programs, which is we may not go for someone's very first ever real estate project, but someone with, a few years and a few buildings under their belt, I think, we would talk with. The other thing for this program is, and I think this group will be happy to hear, that it's really for local developers and businesses. So we want to involve tradespeople, contractors from the neighborhood. We want to involve local neighbors. So that's another reason why we're here to talk to you, to find more local businesses that would be interested in this program, could get involved and talk to us about it. Okay, let me just check this chat again. Okay, yes, I will answer this. So I think one thing CIC, we don't have a roster of contractors that we refer our clients to, our people that we provide loans to. We want to make sure that you're putting together a team that you trust, that you've vetted. We will also, of course, want to see their past work and make sure that they have all of their permits and licensing and things like that. So I think the best way for tradespeople and women-owned businesses to get involved is to be a part of a team that comes to us. You could also help market this program. Like if you're a builder or you're a contractor and your customers are looking for low interest construction loans, here we are. So I think that's the best way. And again, this is a conversation. So, Jessica and I would be happy to talk to you, understand your business and see how we can work together. I'm just going to go ahead and answer these other questions on the slide in case they come up. So one question we get all the time is this a homeowner program? And it is not a homeowner program. It's for developers. So, maybe we could get creative. If you want to build a home and a developer that can build it for you, we could see if that would work. But it's not like a 203K loan. That's like an individual mortgage. We can't do that. The boundaries to this program, The Woodlawn Loan Fund is just for Woodlawn. I'm sure you all know the boundaries of the Woodlawn community area, and that's the boundaries for this program. So if it's like a couple blocks away, unfortunately, we can't be flexible because this is a city program. Also, with the affordability restrictions, the city has given these to us, so they are what they are. I think I addressed the question of the local business, and we can continue that conversation. Last thing I wanted to mention in this presentation is our event on Thursday. We're doing a webinar. I will be on the camera again as moderator, and we're going to get into some of our other lending programs, including this one. So if you want to hear more about this program and some of the others that were on that really pretty slide a couple slides ago, then we'll get into it then. And Jessica, I think we can probably drop the link to the registration in the chat. Yes, let's do that. Okay. I'm going to leave this slide up with our contact information, but any other questions in the chat I can take or pass to Jessica.
I have a question, Katie. And then I'm going to leave a few minutes for folks to, like I said, this is a smaller group. We'll unmute just in case. We know some people are, they take these Zooms in the car and they may not be able to actually put their questions in the chat. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So when we come to you, how do we prepare to sit down and apply for this construction fund? Outside of having a team of folks that you mentioned, what are some of the other criteria that would say we are ready to apply for something like this?
A property. You could be, you really can talk to our loan officers at any point in time if you just want to learn more. And I'm not a loan officer. I know a lot about the programs, but I can't sit here and tell you whether or not a deal is good to go. But you're welcome to call a loan officer, even if you're just thinking about it, and they're very generous with their time and will talk to you. To really apply for a deal, you're going to need, to be under contract for a building, to have a building that you already own. And we have on our website the list of application materials. So you can read our submission checklist and see all of the materials we're going to ask for. This is a construction loan fund. So you will need construction plans, a narrative, a contractor's sworn statement, a list of the tradespeople, companies that you'll use, cost estimates, and eventually we may ask for architectural drawings as needed if they're needed for the project. I think since I'm still host, I'm going to unmute Nancy. Is that all right? Or I can ask to unmute. Okay, all I can do is ask to unmute. I can't unmute her.
So Nancy, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, I was able to. I am able to unmute myself. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Lauren. I heard you say the boundaries, but I had to transfer from my laptop to my car. Will you repeat what you stated about the boundaries if they're a few blocks outside?
So it's a no-go if it's a few blocks outside. That was the next part of that sentence. And I just put back the slide to the Woodlawn community area. So yeah, it has to be in the Woodlawn community area.
Thank you very much.
Would this be applicable for if you have a property that's a vacant lot, and would the construction loan be applicable to that? Yes.
Yes. So you can use this product for new construction. I think that's going to really come into play for the single family side of things. Again, I'm just seeing what else I have on this slide. We haven't had any deals in the single family side, but I know that the city will do a lot sale at some point in the future. So I think that is definitely something that we will look at, is the new construction of single family up to 4 flats. And absolutely this program
and if you
could
haven't,
be used.
Thank you so much. I clearly heard you say that you would not, this probably wouldn't be the program for first-time builders or developers. But what if, let me ask you this, would you guys consider, if you had a team in place, GC, you had the property in hand, and you had a plan, and you brought in a professional property management company as a part of your team. If you yourself did not have the property management experience, could you bring in a professional?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach. And we have done that. Also, taking Jessica's class is a great thing to do for less experienced folks who are less experienced in property management. We absolutely, first of all, recommend the class, and then second of all, recommend a third-party manager if you're less experienced, or at least having a management plan in writing that we can review. And I mean, I will say, like, CIC has been around for 40 years. We've worked with a lot of different people. So I would, like you just couched it, with the team, with the plan, showing your business plan, taking our class, like we'll talk to just about anyone.
Right. And just to piggyback on what Katie was talking about too, I mean, in addition to property management, which is great because again, that gives you the plan on what your plan on managing the project, but it's also that developer, that construction team. You got to have a solid team again, because, as you know, with new constructions or with, heavy, any type of larger rehab projects, it takes a lot. And this isn't the time to be hiring an inexperienced person to want to, work on these jobs, because again, things happen, and, knowledge is very effective when you have projects like this. So your team is key, but, you got to have all those players. Property management is just one piece, but it's the development piece, especially with the Woodlawn project. And then two, get familiar with the ordinance too, because again, we're the administrator. A lot of people ask, well, can CIC do this? It's really a city program that we're the administrators for. So that information is also on the city's website. They've had several webinars about what's going on in Woodlawn, and this is just a piece of it, which of course we're excited to be a part of. So, I can put that information or it's on the City of Chicago's website. I can put that link on there as well, so you guys can get just overall knowledge about what's going on. And that ordinance plays a big role in our product as well. Any other question?
Thank you, Jessica, for breaking that down. That really helped. This is Cassandra.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions? You guys, if you have questions, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and jump in.
I'll just put our contact information back up. We're happy to have separate conversations, jump on a phone call. Also, any other questions about CIC in general? I mean, this Woodlawn program is super targeted, and I think is a great product offering. But I'm happy to talk. We have other lending programs, policies. I mentioned the ADUs and the property tax incentives are really great. I don't know if people own real estate and are interested in that. Ebony, I see your hand is up.
Hi, I have a quick question. So I have a 3-flat in Woodlawn, and I want to get work done to it. I don't know if it'll be full gut rehab, and I'm open to the AMI stuff or like affordable housing. I just don't know if this applies because it's not a 203K, but it's still is similar in that way.
Are you living in? Do you
No.
live there? Okay.
Not anymore.
Even if you live there, I don't think so, because the multifamily rehab product is for 5 units. And then so you would be in the home ownership program at 3. And so that would be for sale to homeowners, and it's not a rental product.
Gotcha.
Sorry. There's other things for 3 flats, but I'm not sure one of these is it.
Has a question.
Katie, I have a question regarding mixed use that may be in on 60.
Nancy, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Maurice Johnson put a question in the chat. What about home repair loans as a homeowner? Similar to the last question.
I think you want to talk to NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services. I think they're your partner for that. Again, we're on this developer side. Thanks, Jessica. She put the link to NHS.
Okay, Nancy, go ahead. Jump in.
Yes. Did you mention anything about mixed use properties?
So for the rental rehab programs in general at CIC, mixed use is totally fine, but we do still have to hit that 5 residential unit limit. So you could have 1 or 2 or 3 storefronts, but as long as we have the 5 residential units, then that would qualify for our multifamily product, including the Woodlawn program.
Are you saying it's a minimum of 5 units or a max of 5 units?
A minimum of 5 units. Yep.
Great questions. Does anyone else have any more questions for Katie and Jessica? Katie, I think that might mean that you explained it so well. There are no more questions, but you probably will get a few phone calls, I'm sure, a few emails as folks digest this, and I'm sure more questions will come up. And so if there are no other questions, oh, I'm sorry, Ebony, do you have your hand raised there? I think I see your hand.
No, I think it's still up from before.
Oh, it's stuck. Okay. No worries. No worries. Okay. And so, Katie and Jessica, thank you so much for introducing this information to us, and also for all the links that you guys put in the chat for folks to check out. Thank you again for putting your information up. Like I said, I'm sure you will have some follow-up questions and some follow-up emails. And so if there are no more questions, again, as I said in the beginning, I'm Dr. Lauren Williams with the Woodlawn Chamber of Commerce, and I'm so thankful to CIC for giving us this information about these products. We know that there's a lot of movement happening in Woodlawn, and so we're excited. We're excited about what's currently happening and also the future. Those of you who are not members, I see a few members on, you can check us out at woodlawnchamberchicago.org to learn more about who we are and what we do. If you missed my elevator pitch in the beginning, please go to woodlawnchamberchicago.org. Think about joining us, especially if you have a business in Woodlawn. We would be happy to support you in any way that we can. In any way that we cannot, we have partners who have available resources that we can connect you to. So if that is all, we thank you guys for joining us today. Those of you who are members, we'll see you at the next membership meetings. And those of you who are not, we look forward to having you joining us for an upcoming event or just joining us as members. You guys enjoy your Yes.
Hey, this is Cassandra. Hey, before we wrap up, I just want to thank the ambassadors as well for the work that is being done, boots on the ground, just making sure that we meet and make time to grab these partners or these community partners here in the community so that we can do a better job of just bringing these programs, resources, and services to those businesses and owners of the Woodlawn community. So again, I just wanted to shout the ambassadors out. A special thank you to Katie and Jessica for letting me get on your nerves a few weeks ago so that we can make this happen.
Yes, and thank you, Cassandra. Cassandra is actually one of our ambassadors, and Nancy is one of our ambassadors. We're so thankful to them. Like she said, they are the boots on the ground, awesome representation of the chamber in various events and just places that we need those boots on the ground to happen. So we have been moving at top speed since the start of the year. We've had several events where we, like Cassandra said, we're really just trying to get this information out to the community. So thank you, Cassandra, for that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys so much. And without further ado, you guys have a great evening. And if you have any other questions, just feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
CIC. Thank you,
Everyone.
CIC.